Hello everyone. I hope this is going to be a shorter video than the previous one I recorded because we were nearing 30 minutes. But in this video, I wanted to go over a question that I don't get it often because I think we have a proper positioning, and I think based on all of the stuff that we have online and the way that we communicate, a lot of people see the differentiation between us and typical agencies. But I thought it would be good to give you some more insights into why do I think that we are very different than a lot of companies that on the outside look very similar to what we do, essentially. So a little background on us and the business as a whole. We once were a web development agency. Like, we didn't change names or whatever. It was under the same label or the same company name. I think we did that like 3.5 years ago. Yeah, around that. And we did that for quite a while, I think a little over a year. And we got a lot of feedback from clients that a lot of feedback was the stuff that we are solving today. And we ourselves struggle with a lot of the stuff that our clients at the moment are struggling with. And lastly, we just lost all passion for development. We as a team didn't enjoy it anymore, and we were just doing it for the sake of running a business. And yeah, I think that's not the best place to be in. So we decided to look at, okay, what do we struggle with? What kind of feedback do we get? And what do we see from like other people that we work with? And how can we essentially, typical entrepreneurial journey, I have a problem, I think I can solve the problem. How are we going to solve the problem? So yeah, we kept getting that feedback, and that is just why we started with the model that we have right now. And our product, our vehicle of delivery is a roadmap from point A to point B. It's not like, okay, you can, pick a few things from the menu. It's just, this is how we do it from A to B. On top of that, we're niche down. We're doing all of the work. Of course, all of the partnerships that we have, it massively depends on the input of our partner as well to make it into a success. But if you compare this to doing this in-house, for example, then you are going to take on a very big workload if you would work to do this in-house. And lastly, our methodology is the same time and time again. So it's not like I mentioned that you have hey, okay, for this client we do, we have 5 services and we do service 1 and 3. For the other one we do 2 and 4. For the final one we only do 5. And then the strategy is so different every time. We have one very detailedly set out thing, and we do that in that way with every partnership, essentially. So in my opinion, what is wrong with the traditional agency model? I think there are a few big problems, and I've picked the main 4. A lot of them look at just one aspect of business growth in isolation, and what that means is that they, for example, only focus on doing branding. They only focus on doing SEO. They only focus on doing Facebook ads or meta ads or whatever you want to call it. And that on its own, you can't solve business growth with, okay, let's say you are a killer at Facebook ads, for example. That's good, but you can't help a business grow by only running Facebook ads for them, because what will happen is you run Facebook ads, you pass leads onto your client, and your client doesn't know what to do with those leads, because usually they come from a place where they haven't gotten any leads consistently. They just sold to referrals, network, existing market demand, and they don't have a process that works for new leads. Essentially, they don't have a sales process. They don't know how to follow up. They don't know how the new way of doing sales and marketing works. So you can be the best Facebook ad agency on earth, but if you can't help, or if the business doesn't have a system in place, a proven system in place to do something with the leads that you will deliver to them, then your partnership will fail. Second one, too many clients to keep up with, and that leads to just diverted focus, and diverted focus leads to declining results, because that's the typical agency model. not too high of a pricing, very approachable for a lot of business, a few grand a month. Yeah, good, okay, let's try this, but the agency that you are working with needs to bring on like a shit ton of clients to run a good business, because usually their prices are lower, so they have no money to invest in talent, team, resources, just overall very little resources to invest in growth. That will lead to shit results, clients churning, and due to clients churning, they need to search for more clients. So it's an endless loop, essentially, not one that you want to be in. And the last one, because I kind of covered this one already, the last one is taking on anyone in any niche. And again, that leads to having to like come up with new strategy. Every target market is so different, and luckily we're seeing a trend of businesses realizing like the importance of a niche. But if the agency that you work with doesn't have a niche, then for all of their clients they need to like dive into the market, research target markets, create new ICPs, new ways of communication, etc. And if you have 15 different clients within 15 different markets, then it's not doable to get results, because all of those are so different. So a full service agency, as I like to call them, is more of a like pick and mix delivery. So, okay, we do, we do Facebook ads, we do content creation, we do we do web development as well, we do branding, like a lot of stuff. And then from there you can sort of pick like, okay, I think we need a new website and I think we need Facebook ads. So in my opinion, that's not the ideal way, because you don't know what's best for you, because usually that's why you partner with an external provider, because if you knew how to solve the problem that you are having, then you would be doing that. So that's a very simple answer. It could be that you don't have the time to do it, but then like that's a very different place to be in, essentially. So what we do is long-term relationships. We are an internal partner. We work with someone instead of for someone. We work so closely, like people want us to validate new propositions for other businesses. People like call us end of working days for advice. Like we have valued relationships instead of just a very transactional partnership or relationship. And I think that is a very big driver to the success that we have, because we are building like not a year relationship, but we are building like 5 to 10 year long-term business relationships. And a lot of them turn into, I wouldn't say like friendly, but overall like more than business relationships. We are not a service that just delivers leads, and we also definitely don't want to be. We operate on fewer but bigger clients. So we, like stated in the last point, we have higher prices. So, and also like due to having higher prices, we work with bigger businesses. So that means we want to take people from 1 to 10 and not from 0 to 1. We don't want to like figure out someone else's business for them. They should have like validated their business model, and then we will help them scale and grow, instead of, okay, we are going to check if we can validate the business that you have, if that makes sense. So higher prices, again, more room to invest in better research, team, systems. That means we will get better results, better case studies, just an endless loop overall. So again, the product that we have, and it's not really even a product, but if you want to call it a product, it's just a roadmap from this is where you are right now, this is where you want to get, and we know exactly what we need to do between A and B to get you there. So that means that we are planning for the future, and I kind of want to make a hopefully sort of successful drawing here. So what we do is I want this to sort of be straight, but what we do, if this is, can I draw? Yeah, thank you. If this is A and this is B, oh my gosh, drawing with a mouse is so difficult. A and B. So this is where you are, and that could be that you are overall, let's say the stuff that you struggle with is only selling to referrals, not having a sales process, not knowing how to scale, not knowing your niche or who to sell to, not knowing what your value proposition even is, not having an offer, like overall just being in like the typical state of a lot of software development companies. And B is founder removed from sales, fully in control of new business, working with sort of ideal clients in terms of high profitability on projects, low like difficulties in delivery, room to bring on like talented people. Overall, your utopia essentially. Like you go from, I don't want to call it miserable, but from miserable to utopia. That's kind of course, your end goal. Then we know that what you need to do is collect data. What are the case studies that you've worked on? What are things that you like to work on? And we have a shit ton of videos online on this. But like recapping this essentially is this phase, for example, is fixing your go-to-market. So go-to-market outlines stuff like proposition, niche, ICP, case studies, like getting insights into, okay, who should we be selling to? Then this phase, and this phase is continually, like this will continue over all of the entire time frame. But for example, this phase is validating the stuff that we've done here. So doing your outreach, actually putting the stuff that you found within this phase, putting that in front of your market, validating, improving, like continuously optimize the stuff that you are doing. And overall, as soon as you found this, then you will do your outreach consistently. Then your sales process is, for example, this phase is getting insights into what are you doing right now, how have like other deals, like share me all deals, how did they close, who did you work with, collect again as much data as possible to from there on look at, okay, what kind of process are we putting together that you need to use to actually sell successfully. So that also means that, for example, in between your outreach and actually selling, we have a process that will like be active for the entire time frame that we work together, which is the SDRs, like following up, booking meetings, calling people. You can't just like send out emails and then ignore handling all of the replies, because you are not going to book any meetings. So we know that is actually needed. We know that you need to fix your go-to-market, then like validate your assumptions. Then from that, okay, I might need to draw sort of the SDR start as soon as you start sending out your emails. Essentially, you have your SDRs. Then you need to have a look at your current sales like process and overall stuff. Then you need to map out a new sales process, which is very time-taking and will yield a lot of results. Then from there on, it is improving, like you spend a lot of months on doing this. Then from there on, it's, for example, okay, what is it that we have done? How can we find, like, what are the biggest dominoes? What will bring us, like, not 2 or 3% increases, but what will bring us a 50% increase? So that's something that we are going to look at for, I don't know, these 2 months, for example, improving what we did here. And as soon as we know, like, this is validated, we've improved it even further, then we are going to look at how can we scale this. So bring on new salespeople, focus on stuff like sort of CEO one-to-one session, coaching session, sales coaching sessions. Overall, how can we scale the business instead of growing the business? So that's kind of how we think. And then from there on, like, usually all of the partnerships that we have with clients are a minimum of 12 months. So, and that's also like the time frame that you need. A lot of people come into this with the wrong expectations. Like, hey, I've been running a business for 10 years. I'm at this like revenue level. I've never had any leads on my own. But if we partner with you, I expect that to solve within, you can solve that within 3 months. And within 3 months, we are closing new deals, essentially. Like if you in 10 years time weren't able to get your own leads, then you can't expect us to like fix that within 3 months time. We'll do our best, but you need to do like trust what we do and trust the process, essentially, because this is all what you need to do to get to the level that you want to get to. So is there anything else that I can add to this beautiful drawing? I think you kind of get the picture of what I mean, like with following a roadmap. The alternatives to like working with a company like us is more of like an on the sideline agency, as I like to call them. So there could be like appointment setters or just your high level lead generation agencies. they will, like I shared, like the example of the Facebook ads stuff, they will just deliver you leads. Usually they are like lower quality leads because they have lower quality people, because they have lower quality or lower pricing points, and that just doesn't allow them to invest in high level people. Then they don't have SDRs that work for you, so they don't do follow-ups, they don't book meetings, so you need to book the meetings on your own. You probably don't have time to follow up with people, book meetings. Okay, someone could reply positively, but then sort of ghost, and then they would need 4 follow-ups to get back on a meeting or whatever. You don't have the time to do all of that. Then they don't look at the sales process. How can you successfully deliver? How can you scale? How do you fix your go-to-market? You could hire in-house So you could bring on new people to do this. You could look at, okay, I'm going to, let's say, bring on a sales director. But a sales director on his own is probably not able to do all of the work that you should do to fix the position that you are in right now. On top of that, hiring costs also a shit ton of resources, shit ton of time, shit ton of your time, and just overall, the chances of failure are very big as well. Just have a think on how many employees have I brought on that weren't successful, and I had very good expectations of them. Doing it in-house, like have a look at your current team, who could do this, who has the right skills to do so. Also very time-taking and will take other people away from the stuff that they are doing at the moment. Consultants, I always say consultants, and I think that's enough. The consultant only makes money when you have a problem, so their end goal is not solving your problem, because then they don't get paid anymore. That answers that one on its own. Doing more networking, yeah, very good. Also, actually, like do networking more frequently. Like getting in touch with new people will yield new conversations and yield new opportunities, but there's a very quick gap to your network. Like you can't grow your network with 2K people a week, for example. Then lastly, and like definitely don't do that, that's a big X, don't do content marketing, don't do SEO, don't work with, or you need to do SEO, I'm going to get back to that, but don't do stuff like blog posting, etc. if you just don't know who to sell to, don't have a validated value proposition, don't know how to get leads. This is stuff that you need to do on top of already being successful. But a lot of people think like, hey, we don't know how to generate leads. All right, we'll go post on blogs, for example. You don't know who to sell to, you don't know who to write to, you don't know your target market, you don't even know like what is the offer that you should actually be implementing. So you can't like expect this to work and expect this to bring in new like business opportunities essentially. So this video kind of turned out longer than I wanted it, but I think I was able to give you a good overview of what we do and what we do differently. That's just it for this video. I just wanted to give some insights into what we think and how we think. So if you found this interesting, then good. If you want more insights, reach out to me, and otherwise I will hopefully see you in the next video.